Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. I'm Jimbo, and today we're going to be introducing and looking at the new Hybrid Solutions Pro. This is actually Turtle Wax's first go into the professional line, or the pro line as they're calling it, and they launched it with something that is graphene infused. And it's pretty different than the other two kind of leading companies that have launched graphene, which we're going to talk about in this video. So we have 303 with their graphene, and we have Adams polishes with their graphene. And the reason why I have them in these little glasses is because there's a couple interesting notes that Turtle Wax talked about in the back of their label that I really hadn't thought about, mainly that they're using pure graphene. And so you're not going to get any separation. You're also not going to get that really heavy solvent smell. So I thought I'd put them in these little glasses to see if the Adams or the 303 separated, and then also so you can see the color variances, just in case you're worried about stuff like that, like dyeing your applicator black or your towels black. You're definitely not going to get that with the Hybrid Solutions Pro graphene. Also, a couple very cool different features. It can be applied wet or dry. It could be used as a base layer or a topper. And again, it doesn't smell like solvent. It actually smells really pleasant and is really nice to use. So a couple really big key differences. Again, that being that it could be a base layer or a maintenance layer, so you kind of get that both. There's no cure time. There's no waiting for it to haze. And so a couple really cool differences with Turtle Wax as they launched their graphene. So we're going to apply it to the panel and then put it through a torture test and see if the Turtle Wax graphene can hold up to the Adams and the 303. So all that and more coming up in this video. So we're going to have the Adams on the far left, the Turtle Wax in the middle, and then the 303 on the far right. And we'll talk about a couple of the differences in the application method. For one, the biggest factor, of course, is the smell. So the Adams smells horrible. The 303 smells horrible. Very solvent smelling. Definitely have to work in a well-ventilated area. And they also have to be set up, or you have to let them cure. You have to let them, in the case of 303, you have to let it haze up, kind of like a traditional paste wax. And with the Turtle Wax, at least according to the back of the label, you don't need any of that. You don't have to apply it with an applicator. You can apply it with just a regular towel. You don't have to let it set up. There is no cure time, and the biggest factor is it doesn't smell bad. It actually smells really good. And it's also not black on the applicator. It's not black in the bottle, which doesn't translate into black on the applicator. And it's also not going to dye your towels black like the 303 and the Adams will. I'm only applying it with an applicator because that's how I have applied. Actually has a really good scent. It's like, not only is it not bad, it's just really pleasant. So I'm only applying it with an applicator because that's what I applied both the other two with as well. So now that I've applied them, we can go back. So application differences. Again, you don't have to let it haze up like you do with the 303. There's not a 4-hour cure time like there is with the Adams. And kind of one thing that trumps all those things is the fact that it doesn't smell so solvent-y. If you're, in the wintertime working in a closed garage because it's so cold outside, the Adams and 303 both, you're not going to want to do that unless you have a fan going or really proper ventilation. So there's the Adams wipe off, very smooth, very easy, as we've seen in the past. I'll get a new towel, and we will remove the 303. It looks like it's hazed up. Man, just a really tacky, horrible wipe off on the 303. Does not make the panel smooth at all. It'll be interesting to see if the Turtle Wax or Hybrid Solutions one is smooth on the wipe off. Pretty smooth. Definitely not, yeah, and just continues to get smoother. So definitely not tacky like the 303 is. The Adams is about just as smooth, but as you continue to wipe, the Turtle Wax just gets smoother and smoother, but all around really, really easy on, really easy off. For the Turtle Wax, the Adams and the 303 have their respective kind of cures and hazing and all that you have to worry about, and again, the smell. So let's let it cure for a few hours per the Adams directions. Both the Turtle Wax and the 303 don't have a cure time, but the Adams does, so we'll give it a little bit of a cure time, then we'll take it outside for a torture test. Right, so now that it's had ample amount of time to cure, we're gonna first start out with the water beading to see how we do on that front. And again, kind of the Turtle Wax or hybrid solutions, very interesting that they're positioning it as a wax. It's called Flex Wax, not really Flex Graphene, though it says infused with graphene. It's not a coating, it's a wax, as they're calling it, similar to what I guess McGuire's does. Kind of more of an oblong bead than a round bead. Let's put some more water on it and see, but definitely beading water nonetheless. I mean, we've seen a few other brands that claim significant water beading that frankly just don't bead water. So I guess in a way this test is a little unfair. We are comparing a graphene wax to full-blown ceramics. So there could be that, but whatever. Let's see if that means anything really. Oh, come on. I promise you guys I'm getting a new blower. I promise. Whoa. I would argue that the Turtle Wax actually got off the panel fastest. Is that a word? Fastest? Fastest. So, all right, let's hit it with a couple chemicals. We'll hit it with the Tsunami Cleaner first. Let's see how it goes. So, again, kind of a different thing too is that you can't really apply the 303, you can't really apply it wet, I would say. You can't really apply the Adams wet, but the Turtle Wax says that you can apply it wet. So one of my favorite ways to use a product is just when I'm drying it. So kind of interesting. Man, the 303 is so tacky. It's so crazy how tacky the 303 is. So the Adams took a really big hit from that, like almost dead hit. I wonder if something's happening in the bottle with it. So with the Adams, the sprayer has completely seized up, but the Adams, that's really weird. The Adams is completely flat after one round. Let's wet towel it and see what's going on here. The Turtle Wax, wax. I guess, man, they're staying true to their name, right? They didn't, well, they do have the hybrid solution ceramic coating, so. I was gonna say, Flex Wax, Turtle Wax. What was I doing? Here we go. So the Adams is flat, not sure what happened with that. But the Flex Wax, again, those oblong beads, and also the 303 has taken a beating too. And there goes the Adams, interesting. Not sure why that happened. All right, let's hit it with purple power. See if that does anything. And then once I break it down, I want to experiment a little bit with how to revive the beating if you want beating. So I'm trying to break these down relatively quickly. And then we'll see, since they say that turtle wax can be applied as a maintenance, I really want to, and that it can be applied wet. Can you just spray it on and rinse it off and kind of bring back that water beating, or do you need to spray it on? Why am I doing the atom side? It's already dead. Oh well. Or do you need to spray it on and rub it in? Because if you could spray it on and rinse it off, then we're kind of in the realm of the Meguiar's Blue Bottle, the hybrid ceramic wax, I think it is. Let me wet towel it, but the Flex Wax and the 303 looking almost identical, to be honest. Very, very, very similar. So it's even on the wet towel, that dispersion, or it's not evaporation, I forget what the term is. So we lost atoms last time, but here we go. Maybe I'll do a couple more rounds. It is lagging a little bit in the blow test, but not much. I mean, they're both very, very, very close. All right, let's do another round of purple power. We'll go up to 3 rounds of purple power, and then we'll kind of add we'll spray the Flex Wax on it and play with it. Maybe we'll start with the spray and rinse, see how that goes. That'd be pretty cool. If you could spray and rinse it off, that'd be really cool. There we go, breaking it down. So the Flex has gone to a little bit more of a sheeting. Did I do a wet towel yet? I don't think so. The 303 didn't look as phased from that. The Turtle Wax has gone to a little bit more of a sheeting. So I'll rinse it one more time. We'll do one more purple power, and then we'll kind of play with it. There you go. There must have been a little residue on there. Still looking virtually identical. What I'll have to do in another video is compare it to Seal and Shine, because I think it's getting up there with Seal and Shine. If we're talking 3 purple power baths, it'd be pretty interesting. All right, last purple power, then we're gonna mess with reapplying it, just in case you go through a purple power bath. Not really. It's not going to happen, but you may go through a rainstorm and feel like you lost water beating with any of these products, and shoot, maybe if you have atoms on there and you want to top it with the Turtle Wax Flex Wax, maybe you can do that. I don't know. We'll have to play around and experiment a little bit here, because it's kind of unique to the graphene space. Looks like the 303 is doing a little bit better. Let's see if we have any residue here. I don't know. Both look pretty close, but I would say that I don't know, they look very, very close. So oh no, I want to leave it on. I don't want to dry it off. They both look close. Let me grab my bottle of Flex Wax. So it does say you can, so once you have the base coat, it says the first step, you could save time while wet after washing and rinse. Apply 2 sprays per panel and towel dry all treated surfaces. So that's a 1 step if you want to do that. That would be applying it here and then wiping it in. Or you can do it as a rinse wax and let the water do the work. And so while wet after washing and rinse, apply 2 sprays per panel starting at the roof. Use a strong stream of water and spread and rinse the wax. Towel dry all treated surfaces. Use a damp microfiber cloth to remove any streaking. So it can be used. Let's even apply it on the Atom side and see if it works. Because we did this with the Meguiar's Blue bottle and it didn't work if you used it as like only this, if the panel was flat. So it would be interesting to see if the water beat it up. So it doesn't work great on the Atom side, but it did bring back the beading quite a bit on the Turtle Wax base layer side, or that had, I guess, that base layer, right? So it did bring back a little bit of water beading and a little bit more on the 303 side as well, but not really anything on the Atoms that was flat. Let's see, let's do, what was that, 3 or 4? So it does seem that it will need that base layer to be applied and rubbed in to really work well. If your panel's completely flat like the Atoms, it won't really revive that, at least on the first coat. Let's see if it does now. Nah, definitely not as well as if you have that base coat. So I guess if you have a base coat of anything that is still there, maybe you just lost a little, kind of like we see in the torture test, how you lose the hydrophobics first. If you have a little bit of hydrophobics still going, they've just weakened, you could use it as a spray and rinse and it'll kind of revive it and make it look like it just did, or how it did initially. But if it's completely dead flat and you don't have any base layer of protection, it's not going to work. But as you can see in this video, as long as you have the base layer, it'll work cross brands. So very interesting. Opens it up to a lot of possibilities. So I think it did pretty well in a torture test. So what do you guys think about Turtle Wax, or Hybrid Solutions as this one's branded as? What do you think about them kind of launching into this professional market, and then not only that, but then launching in with a graphene product? Pretty interesting. They also have a couple more graphene products that I will definitely be showcasing on my YouTube channel. But overall, I'm very pleased with this. I'm very pleased with how it smells good, the ease of use, and then that ability to use it as a base layer or to use it as a maintenance, which is what I like to do on all my cars. Every time I wash it, I'm spraying something on it. So now it'll be the Flex Wax. So hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you on the next one. See ya.